Hello, Martha.
Hello, Ashley.
I'm introducing Martha, who has just done 8 weeks, which is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I have to congratulate you on, let me just check in, 49 inches smaller.
It
Which,
seems so surreal. It's crazy.
which until you put your clothes on, you didn't even know that it's happened.
Oh, that was one of my goals to put my existing clothes on and have them fit better. And it was so wonderful. That was a really nice moment to be able to wear things that I had had in the closet for a long time.
It's a juicy surprise, isn't it? But when they get baggy, you kind of go, oh, now I've got to buy more.
I know it's such a hard thing. I have to buy more clothes.
So
That's the fun part.
I love shopping. I know that you're a best-selling author, and what comes with that is sitting down.
Oh, I know.
And so, you've got a job that leaves you sitting down. And I think a lot of ladies in the world put on weight when they're sat.
Mhm.
And this goes to show that you can take off weight when you sit also.
Absolutely. Although I did exercise. And that was one of the hardest things for me. I had such a negative mindset because I thought, well, I'm a writer. I have to sit here. I'm just not going to lose weight. That's just the way that it is. And during COVID, I really was sedentary. And I live in a very rural area, and I can get out and walk, but it's also very cold in the wintertime. So I had every excuse in the book not to exercise or eat right, but I honestly didn't know how to eat right, or how to eat in a way that wasn't gonna like keep me on that path. So yeah, it was a really when I first signed up, I thought, how could this even work? I mean, I've tried everything. I've been on other diets before. And so it was just a lovely surprise when it actually worked. I guess I'm a doubting Thomas.
Yeah. And I'm excited because so many women all over the world say I've dieted and dieted, and they come back, and I'm excited to get somebody into the program or women into the program that have done the yo-yo dieting to know that there is a solution rather than another diet. Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. What would you say is different about, I guess, what we do versus the diet before?
Well, I don't eat until noon. I mean, that's just the way that I do it. I know that it can be tailored to however you want to do it. But I used to think, oh, I'll just die if I don't eat when I get up first thing in the morning. And I found that I was fine. I take that back. At first, especially, I was really, really hungry, and oftentimes I am hungry and before noon, and I eat before noon. It's not the end of the world. That's another thing I learned. You don't have to be so militant about everything, especially since I've lost 15 pounds, and I feel like it's not all just going to like come zooming back again. If I eat at 11 instead of 12. But at the beginning, I was very hungry at say like 10:30 or 11, but I just, kind of distracted myself and thought, and then I did watch the clock a lot at the beginning. And then by noon, I would just have this giant salad with nuts and protein. And my go-to is frozen shrimp that I defrost. That's my favorite. So once I realized that I can have this fabulous salad at noon, I just have to wait. And that really worked well. And then again, there's snacks and then there's dinner. So it was just at the very beginning that I was like nervous about it. And now it's just kind of normal. In a way, it's liberating because, if I'm traveling or something, and my husband fasts too. So if I'm traveling, I don't have to feel like, oh no, I'm not going to eat before the flight or something. Yeah, exactly. I think whatever, I'll eat later. It is, it's very freeing.
It's a lifestyle. I love you said freeing, because I feel like you have become freer in the sense of, actually, there's food everywhere. If I just eat what the world has offered and not a factory that's made, there actually is a lot out there, and we don't look before we look. And once you've seen foods out there, and once you start to change your palate, everything changes. Your sleep. You mentioned earlier, your sleep is
So
better.
much better. So much better. Yeah. As I got older in my life, I was starting to wake up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I still do, but I drink so much water now, and it seems counterintuitive, but I drink so much water, but I don't always get up at night anymore. So that's one thing that is helping it, but it's also just, I don't know, I feel like my body is just really happy. So,
Healing.
it's a good place to be. Yeah, I feel like it has healed my gut,
Yeah,
which I love. I feel like I'm going to eat this way forever.
perfect. And your headaches?
I haven't had a headache since I started, which is unusual because I'm hypoglycemic, and that was my big worry going in, was that, oh, I'm going to be headachy all the time. I did start fasting before I started the program. And I kind of eased into it a little bit. Like, I just ate my regular food, but I would fast. So that may have helped. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a headache. Knock on wood, I haven't had a headache. But I do think you have to be mindful of, like, I didn't, there are some things that I could have eaten on the program that I didn't, because I knew my, my own headachy stuff, like sugary fruit, especially. I really, really stayed away from, and just my blueberries were my go-to. So I think, you know yourself, and that really worked for me.
And the irony is, I've just gotten here, when I asked you on day one about your foods, you said, oh, I love corn chips, I love frosting, I love everything. It's
Yes.
frosting. Stay away from a peach, but frosting, yeah. But it just, your taste buds alter, and you realize that you can, live without stuff when you have so much joy from the rest of your days.
Yes. And I think one thing that you told me that was so wonderful was visualize, when you go to a party, visualize, do you want to come home and take your dress off and feel all bloated and gross? Or do you want to come home and say, I really, I had a great
Enjoy the
time.
party. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely the latter. So I do that a lot now, and just try to picture the outcome. And that seems to help a lot. I think that the sessions with you were really, really key to it, because I knew that every week I was going to talk to you for an hour, and you would therapy-ize me and help me through. I mean, so much of it is up here.
I'm just having a vision of, can you imagine going into a party, visualizing yourself quaffing drink, eating all those canapes, burping, feeling dreadful? That's not something that you kind of want to visualize yourself doing. But of course, if you don't plan ahead, you tend to do that, don't you? Go in there hungry, eating whatever's going, drinking what's going. Nobody wants.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't imagine your lovely, healthy self doing that, but you do it if you don't imagine what else you want.
Well, if you're not mindful, I think that was the word that you always brought me back to in our sessions. It was, be mindful of it. Before you go in, just think about it. And it sounds easy, but in my past life, I
Why
was
would
not. And you had said, eat before you go. And I just thought, well, yeah, I've heard that before, but why didn't I know to do that myself? It's invaluable having you there. Even though the program is standard and wonderful, you really help, make it happen. And that, I'm so grateful for that.
you made it happen?
Kind of.
I know. Well, that's
It
what
was collaborative.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's nice, isn't it? Because everybody's so unique. Everybody brings something that's a challenge to them in the program that we get through. Because if you were just following something and no one talked to you about it, you just kind of don't know how to navigate it. So it's kind of that's I love it. I hate it when it gets to the 8 weeks. I'm not very good at endings. So
I know, me neither.
but so your doctor was impressed, which I'm really pleased at.
Yes, she was like 15 pounds. I mean, she knew that I was doing the program, but I think I had been in there so much talking to her about, oh, woe is me. Um, you know, it'll never happen for me. And she's like, do Weight Watchers, that work for me? Or, she had lots of other, she always tried to help me, but the bottom line is, you got to find the right program. I honestly thought that it would never happen, really. Even when I signed up with you, I just thought, not me, this isn't, but wow. And you have to measure yourself, which was so interesting. I remember measuring myself at the beginning thinking, how much will this change? I don't know. And then I think the second time I measured, because you only do it, we did it like 3 or 4 times, but over the course of 8 weeks. And the second time I measured, I was like, what? Oh my God, my body is just like melting. It was so great. Yeah. So I'm a believer now.
That's good. I was going to ask you, and do you, because once you believe, that gives you that sort of certainty of like, I know where I'm going now. I know that I can relax into this until, because you're only actually 5 pounds away from what you told me your goal was. So
I know. I feel pretty good here though. I don't know. I mean, mentally, I'd like to give myself a couple of extra pounds to but I don't know. I would be perfectly happy here. And, oftentimes when I allow myself to just, like when I don't put too much pressure on myself, that's when I really do like look at the scale and go, oh my God, that's interesting. I'm even, I weigh even less. But that's another thing to add, that the scale, I felt before that I was always so afraid to get on the scale because it was going to be bad news. But now I weigh myself every day. It is exactly the same thing, completely naked, right before I shower, at the same time every day. And it really helps me. I know that doesn't help everyone, but for me, it just helps me. I don't know. It gives me a little something to look forward to, because I think in the morning I'm going to get on that scale and I'm going to be happy. So I hope this doesn't make me sound like I'm a crazy person.
no,
But
no, no. But it's almost like you get back in touch with your body and yourself by
yes.
you're connecting to your physical being by jumping on that, aren't you? And if you got on there and it wasn't what you wanted, you go, what did I do yesterday? I kind of know what I did this weekend. And that's what happens. My body didn't like it. So that's okay, because I know that I'm going to be mindful the next few days and it's going to like it.
Well, that's the thing. As long as you know that you can fix it, it's not so bad to get on the scale and see what is going on. But that's crucial for me, because otherwise it gets out of hand. And before you know it, you're inching back up and it's like, oh no, Ashley, help me.
Yeah. And it's kind of inflammation. Your body doesn't like it. So it says, there you go. I didn't like it. I'm just feeling really puffy again. So you kind of look at what you had. But I'm also, before we go, what I really like too is the fact that you have freedom to choose what goes in your mouth again now, I suppose. When somebody else is saying, go on, have it, you kind of go, no, I'm all right.
Yes, I've grown a spine, weirdly. And I'm starting to realize that, I was such a pleaser. I know that sounds so weird, but, if even someone at a cocktail party passing hors d'oeuvres or something, I always felt so bad saying no, like I was rejecting them. And now I just think it's fine. I am in control of what goes in my body. So, it's a whole new world.
But you said to me at one point when we met that eating cursed me for so long. That's a big thing for so many women. What was the curse?
That is so true. I just felt like there was nothing I could ever do to get myself out of this cycle. And ever since I was, a teenager, I had been in this horrible loop of just you know, being really good. And then all of a sudden you let the chair down and, I might as well, you know, Katie bar the door. And then when I got older, you know, I'd have a glass of wine and say, oh, just one. And then, you know, that just kind of loosens you up to eat whatever. So I always felt like I just had a bad relationship with food and nothing was gonna help that. But it's so nice to be proven wrong.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Well, I want to wish you everything well for your next book tour, which is soon.
Yes.
When is that?
April 18th. Yeah, coming up. But I have all my tools. I'm ready.
Yeah, for your flights, for your
My food,
yeah,
my
all
strategies.
strategies, your parties. So thank you and good luck with your book tour.
Thank you.
See you soon, maybe. Well, I'll see you on Instagram.
I hope so.
All right.
Thanks, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye-bye.